Thank you, Ms. Roberts. Ms. Copelin-Wood.
Sapora, you were the only one that I noticed said anything substantial about children. And Mona, I'm very concerned with the fact that the same people who had such a derogatory disposition towards some of our schools, who wanted all the schools in the southernmost part of the county in districts closed, out of here making the decision, this important decision. The same people who stood there and wanted to argue with the board, when you're saying, well, we're going to give the community 2 weeks, that's not fair. That is not fair. Somebody has been doing this, and we have been waiting on it for a long time. But it comes here now, you have Dan Drake arguing that they only have 2 weeks. We're talking about our children's lives here. We're talking about our parents who provide the money for the school system through their taxes. Our students deserve better. Avondale in 2002 was supposed to get a career technology center. That just completely disappeared. Because you get people on this LS whatever committee who sit there and who make decisions on their schools and not for the whole district. And that's not fair to the rest of the schools. I'm very disturbed with this. I'm not saying that hours haven't been put in there. I believe the same hours that we put in there before still exist because the demeanor has not changed. I just couldn't believe someone could argue with the board over not sufficient time, 2 weeks. How are we going to get that out? It's going to take 2 weeks to get it in the paper and circulate through the community. And the people who do not take the paper or whatever, they'll find out I just don't understand why this happened like this. The insensitivity. We're here to consider the children. That's our main responsibility, educating children. I didn't hear anything compassionate about how this would impact the students nor the community. You talk as you did before when you had the other committee, as if these students, some students, communities, and schools don't count. And this board, I can understand you being agreeable because none of the schools in your district were chartered to close. Amazingly so. Every one of those schools were in the southernmost part of the county. And I think it is a tragedy and an injustice for us to sit here and take advantage of our students, our parents, and our community. These schools didn't just get like that. We knew they needed attention. It's not the school's fault, it's the school system fault. And I believe that some of the schools have provided whatever requests they have needed to improve their school, which has fallen on deaf ears. But we continue to put money in brand new schools instead of schools that really need it. And then we come back and say, oh, well, the condition of the school and blah, 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 blah. That's your fault. That's not the school's fault. They can only request. And so I'm just sorry. There is no compassion here. There are children, since we have allowed the test scores to stay at a very low rate in some schools, may need less students in that school. You see, that's where we need to look at the human part of this. And we haven't done, oh, well, you know, the schools are school. These schools belong to the public. They don't belong to us. These children bring the money from their parents to support this school system. And the irresponsibleness of not caring, I don't care if nobody agrees with me, because these kids were not in your district. They're hurting, having to walk at night, and now you sit there and want to close their schools. And you wait till the last minute so there would be little or no input from your deadline, which is 2 weeks. That is pathetic.
Ms. Woods, may I respond?
And
please?
who is, no, let me finish. Who is we? And we. Who is that? This is the board's responsibility. But then again, the board, the majority of the board, don't have schools in those districts. Pull the data from last time and see where those schools to be closed were, with little thought to the impact it will have on parents or children. It's just amazing. There was so much erroneous information given, and as I sat there and I saw the committee was supposed to make the decision, but all the information was given to the committee. Even the schools, the last little date, Dan Drake came up with a list of schools to close. The community hadn't even looked at it. He brought it to them. So I am just to sit here and bear this again. It just don't make sense. And if you're talking about overcrowding, Jay, we got plenty of that. Look at Avondale McNair Elementary, where kids are stuffed in there like sardines. Teachers don't have homerooms, and I know that because I asked. So what are we doing? What are we doing for these children that are overpowered by people with very little concern? I mean, I'm not saying that you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You probably did. You did what you were supposed to do in the last committee. I'm sure you'll do the same thing here. But a lot of that information was wrong, even as simple as a distance from one school to the other. It was wrong. But everybody kept accepting it as if it was right, even though you had to know it's more than a mile from Skyhaven to Gresham. But y'all allowed that to exist because Dan Drake said it. And I have nothing personally against you, but I have a lot of compassion and support for the children I serve. And I also, fellow board members, always vote for your schools. Whatever it is, if you want a Taj Mahal built out there with parking decks, when all I hear is, they ain't got enough parking over there. Well, let's look at providing parking so parents from my community don't have to go over the Miller Grove, which is far away from where they live, just for a meeting every day, every time they have one. That means that these parents have to get off from work, fight that traffic down I-20, trying to get past Wesley Chapel to get to a meeting that's way out of their community. And most of these meetings are scheduled where it's not convenient for the southernmost part of the county parents to attend. Didn't you realize that? You keep doing it as if you're saying, well, we're going to make it. It appears, let me just put it this way. It appears that you're saying, we're not going to make it convenient for you to get there. And so here they are getting off at maybe 5 o'clock, trying to get across town to attend the meeting. And every time I mention that, I think it's going to be resolved, but here we are running to Miller Grove again, as if that's the only school in the world, and that's where all the people live. And we had meetings at Miller Grove,